In this episode 10, which is a two-part series, we're going to talk about why you shouldn't give up. This is something I've been struggling with so much lately. Oh my gosh, on my goals. I've been struggling on giving up on my dreams, my ambitions. And if you feel like you've been working towards your goals and you feel like giving up, then trust me, this podcast episode for you. This is the part 1. And make sure to listen to part 2 right after this. But check this out. Welcome to the Depression Talks podcast. My name is Emmanuel. I'm a YouTube creator and certified life coach dedicated to changing the mental health stigma. On this podcast, we openly talk about depression, anxiety, and low self-esteem, but you'll also hear some coaching tips that has helped many people take action and transform their lives. No matter what you're going through, I promise you are not alone. Man, this is my biggest struggle lately. I cannot express that enough. It's the reason why I, again, have not shot a podcast episode in so long. I haven't uploaded on my YouTube videos as frequently as I normally do. It's why I just have not been around. I have given up. It's so scary to say. I do not like saying that, but that is the truth. I had given up on my goals. Basically, what it came down to is this, and please raise your hand if you relate to what I'm about to say to you. Have you ever worked so hard on something and you're not seeing the results that you want to see? Have you ever worked so hard towards your business, towards your school, acting, music, art, whatever that you're passionate about, and you work so hard towards it, but you're not seeing the results, and you're like, you know what? I'm going to give up. That's the point that I got to. Now, this isn't going to be a sob story, but I wanted to share some viewpoints of the mentality that we have when things aren't going our way and why we give up and why we shouldn't give up. This is not going to be a negative podcast. This is going to be an uplifting and motivational podcast to help us continue going, continue pushing forward, and continue reaching towards our goals. So this is exactly what happened to me. Recently, I've been so stressed. And again, raise your hand if you're listening to this on a subway or at school or something in your car. Raise your hand if you can relate. But I have been so stressed lately. There has been so many things going on. And I've been having to deal with moving from apartments due to a bug problem. I've been having to deal with my job, which can be very stressful at times. Freelance, which can be very stressful at times. YouTube, and then this podcast. So I've been focusing on all of these areas of my life simultaneously, and I felt overwhelmed. I felt like I just couldn't handle the pressure anymore. That's one thing that happens when you start to think about giving up, is that you start to accumulate and put together all these different reasons and excuses. I said it. Excuses of why you can't continue doing something anymore. So that's the first thing I did. The second thing I did is saying, I am not good enough. I started to self-sabotage. As soon as I realized that I wasn't getting the results that I expected or that I wanted, I started to self-blame myself. I said to myself, I'm not good enough. People don't care about my content enough. I'm not reaching and impacting people the way that I want to. And I started to just formulate all these ideas of how terrible I am at podcasting, how terrible I am at YouTube. And it started to circulate and get into my mindset. And then again, I gave up. Another mindset that you may run into is comparison. That's something I still struggle with so much. You compare yourself and your results to other people. We should not do that. I say that to myself as I say it. We should not compare our results to other people. Why? Because our path is different than everyone else's path. Their life is their life. Your life is your life. Their skills is their skills. Your skills is your skills. This is about you. This is about your own journey. This is about your own life. So why are we comparing our journey and our life and our paths to other people? No, bump that noise, man. Bump that noise. So I'm going to go into a few reasons why you shouldn't give up. Those are three reasons why we tend to give up. But now let's kind of turn this around into a more positive message and give you 3 reasons of why you shouldn't give up. The first reason is you never know how close you are to a breakthrough. Ooh, I'm getting hype up in the studio, even though I'm in my apartment. You never know when you're so close to a breakthrough. There are so many times where I did give up, or I was about to give up, and all of a sudden I got a message from a viewer that's saying that you've helped me, you've helped change my life. Maybe there's times in your journey that you're about to give up, and let's say you're working on your art skills, and all of a sudden you draw a picture and you're like, oh my gosh, this picture looks amazing. I've come so far. It's been a journey, but I practiced so much, and I finally got that perfected to where I wanted to get, wherever my goal was. So I just wanted to stress to you, you never know how close you are to a breakthrough. Now, this takes so much patience, guys. This takes so much patience. I mean, there's times where I'm sitting at my computer and I'm looking at the analytics and I'm like, man, when is my breakthrough going to happen? When is my breakthrough going to happen? And the truth is, I never know. You never know. But I know that if you give up, you won't reach that breakthrough. I won't reach that breakthrough. And I don't want that to happen to us, guys. I don't want that to happen. So that's the first reason why you should not give up. The second reason why is because time will pass whether you work towards your goals or not. Time will pass whether you work towards your goals or not. If you are choosing to, like I did, sit on your butt, not work towards your goals, complain, make excuses, years and years will go by where if you had kept working, you could have been somewhere else completely far from where you are now. For example, this podcast. Because I'm going to be blunt and honest and be vulnerable and be, honest like I just said. This podcast would have made so much more progress if I had stayed consistent and posted every single Sunday like I was supposed to. That's the hard truth. And I know that. And I own it. I own it. Because if you don't own it, then who will? I own that I could have made so much progress, that I could have been a lot farther in this podcast, that I could have impacted more people in a positive way with this podcast if I had stayed consistent and kept working hard and didn't give up. Time will pass whether you work towards your goals or not. Don't forget that. So make that time count by working towards your goals, by waking up early, by staying up late, by practicing, by putting your effort into it. Whatever goal you're trying to work towards, put that effort into it day in and day out. And then eventually you will see results that you have never seen before. The last reason why you shouldn't give up on reaching toward your goals, on striving towards success, on trying to get closer to whatever you're trying to get closer to is you only live once. You only live once. I'm not going to be here forever. And this kind of gets me emotional, but I'm not going to be here forever. I'm not going to be impacting people forever. I am not going to be the most successful person or be, where I always want to be in my life. But I only have one chance at this thing called life. And this kind of ties into part 2, which it's talking about why you shouldn't give up on your own self, on your own life. But before we get into that, when it comes to our goals and our success, we only have one chance and one opportunity at this. So let's make it count. Let's make it worth something. Let's make our lives worth something by not giving up. I'm going to try my best and do my darnest, if that's the word, darnest? I think it is. But do my best to be able to stay consistent with these podcast episodes again, to upload every single Sunday on this podcast, to upload and do my live streams every single Sunday on YouTube, to upload at least one video a week on my YouTube channel. And if you still haven't reached my YouTube channel, I don't know what's wrong with you. But if you still haven't reached my YouTube channel, just type in Depression Talks with Emmanuel and you'll be able to find my channel. But regardless of that being said, you only have one life to live. So we should make it count by working towards our goals, by striving towards success, and by reaching towards our desired dreams. I really hope that you took a lot out of this part 1 of part 2 series. I know that if you're struggling with your life, if you're struggling with not feeling like you want to be here anymore, you're struggling with the thought of even suicide, then part 2 is going to be an episode that is really tailored towards you. Part 1 was all about our goals and our dreams and our desires and our ambitions, but part 2 is about life and breathing itself and why you shouldn't give up on your life. So check out part 2, which is the next episode. And before you do that, remember to go to my YouTube channel, type the comment down below. I listened to your podcast, and let me know what you think of the podcast. All you gotta do is go to youtube.com and type in Depression Talks with Emmanuel. You'll find my channel. Comment down below. I would love to see you there. All right. I think it's time to end the podcast. As I always say, do you stay swagalicious and keep smiling. See you in the next episode.